Hey guys, so before I start coloring this new drawing I'm doing, I kind of wanted to talk about what's going on in the area that I'm working with for those of you who reading the news and stuff like that. So I live in Canada, Mississauga in Ontario, and basically a lot of things have changed because of the COVID-19, which is the coronavirus. I just basically call it coronavirus, but the official name is COVID-19. Um, so the day I am filming this video is actually Monday, March 23rd. But what happened is last week, starting on the Sunday, they actually announced in the malls, because I work in the mall, they announced in Square One and in Erin Mills that all of your hours are going to be optional. So you can either open up your store like regular hours, or you can switch to the optional hours, which is like 11 o'clock p.m. No, 11 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. So you go to work later and then you leave work earlier. Having that said, the store that I work for, they decided not to close down, not to do the optional thing, and a lot of stores already decided during the beginning of last week. They decided they were shut down, or like just go for the optional hours. A lot of stores actually just shut down. Like they couldn't deal with the whole entire thing, so they just had a shutdown, and their stores are still going to be in there, but it's just going to be closed off for a few weeks, hopefully, is what they're hoping. For the store that I work in, though, they decided to stay open for the full hours for like the beginning of the week. Once it hit Thursday, they realized that something had to be done because we're losing business, so having to pay staff, I guess they decided they wanted us to just stay at home instead. So I'm on temporary layoff, which is very intense because I've never been on this, but it's not like they're telling me you should go find another job. They're saying once it's done, they'll recall me back into business. So our store is shut down now. It shut down on Friday, so last Friday. So actually, it was like a week after everyone already started shutting down. So we're pretty late. I think we were pretty much stretching our business as it was. So now I'm just at home. Overall, I would say there has been a lot of business changes in the company that I work for. A lot of people are all over the place. And there are new people in our store now. So these new workers, like I heard one of my new workers, he was like, I'm gonna go find another job. And I was like, okay, all the best luck to you. All I can say is that, like, if he finds another job, good for him, because he has bills to pay, and a lot of us are young adults, so we do have bills to pay. I just happen to be living with my dad and my brother, so we just live in one house, so we don't have to pay for the house technically, but we help pay for other bills. And with that being said, I'm kind of at this spot where it's like, yeah. And a lot of people are applying for EI. If you go on to the Canada Services website, they actually say, like, applying for EI is like, if there's glitches on the system, it's because of that. So, yeah. So, having that said, because of being stuck at home, I get to draw more. So, I guess this is what it is for now. Just I remember like being at home like when they had the college strike, and then just my dad pulling me out of the college and saying, hey, you're not gonna go to school during like Christmas, because that was what they were gonna do because of the strike, everything delayed and stuff like that. So my dad pulled me out of the college, and then for about almost a year I didn't do anything. And during that time, I feel like, when you feel like it's okay to not be doing something because you haven't been doing something in a long while, except for doing like school and stuff. But because I work now, I really miss work. Like, it's it's a lot to take in because I absolutely love to work. Like, as someone who you think, like, after all that time I would still like be lazy, but actually I'm pretty hardworking when it comes to my job, and it sucks because I'm sitting here hoping that all of this dies down. The initial weeks that the malls decided to close were for 2 weeks initially. That's what they said. They don't know if they'll be closed for any more. So the malls are still open. You can walk in them. However, I would say it's pretty much dead in Erin Mills and in Square One. It's dead in any mall, to be honest. A lot of stores just close down completely instead of like taking the optional hours, because it's too much in terms of they can't take that much for business. So it's really, really sad. If you go to a mall, you probably can hardly buy anything. If you want to buy stuff, the only places to buy things are grocery stores or like fast food. Restaurants are only open for takeout in this area as well. Like, from what I know, you're not allowed to dine in. Even fast food, they say you have to take out. You can't dine in. So yeah, so having that said, I am going to start coloring because I'm talking so much. So it's RP17 pastel pink I'm going to be using on this bunny. So these bunnies that I drew are based off of pillows that I have. I don't have the exact color for the pink one though, so bear with the fact that a lot of the pink plush that I'm trying to draw nowadays, I've been drawing a lot of my plush, but you'll notice like the pink ones are kind of not the right color. That's just because I'm making do with what I have. Like, it says pastel pink, but it's not super pastel. So these are based off of pillows that I bought from my workplace during the summertime. So they're pillows. And a lot of people are practicing like social distancing and stuff like that. Just recently, I go to Loblaws to buy groceries because that seems to be like a pretty clean place. And they're also, what they've been doing is the public has announced, media has announced that Loblaws is actually paying their workers $2 more for doing such a good job and like just working through this virus. So basically, they're getting more pay for this, which is great because honestly, they deserve it. If you're working at a grocery store for like during a virus and trying your best to keep the whole store clean, making sure like no one goes all like crazy and stuff during this time, and just keeping everyone calm, yeah, you deserve more pay because it's hard to be working during this time. Like, honestly, some people might even want to be just at home, but they need to pay their bills. So it's just what it is. So I am done coloring the bunny. Now I just need to shade her. So I'm gonna use R8, which is rose pink, to shade. And the grocery stores have been starting, I don't know about the other stores, but I know for a fact that Loblaws is starting a new regulation rule where it's like they installed like a sink so that way you can wash your hands when you're done shopping or before you go shop. And then they say only 300 people can enter, I think, per time. I think it was 300. I saw the sign, it had like 2 zeros, but it's a good thing. It's a good start. They're starting to regulate like how many people, and they also have, when you go to the cashiers, they have this tape which basically it outlines how far you can distance yourself from the cashier and also from the other people shopping as well, so you guys don't come in contact with each other so much. Before, like, last week they didn't have these regulations, but they're just starting, which is a good thing. It helps. Every little bit helps. Like, to me, I feel like there's a lot of panic when people go and try to buy like toilet paper, the paper towels, and all the other stuff. I feel like you don't really need the paper so much. Like, you just need it regularly, but not to the point where you should be freaking out about it and going to every store trying to find it. Definitely, it's just about keeping clean and not panicking, because a lot of the times I feel like people panic during these situations, and you don't need to. Like, it doesn't help. And like, I've seen people try to do things to keep clean, like wearing masks and stuff and wearing gloves, but then they start touching like their devices or their face, and it's like, it doesn't help. You ruin the point of using these items to keep yourself clean if you start touching your face, because then you're contaminating yourself. So that's why I kind of don't like agree with wearing masks. And because everyone's buying all the surgical masks, it doesn't save any for the people with medical who are giving medical assistance to people. So save it for the doctors and the nurses and the people who need it. And yeah, just don't panic. It's not as bad as people have been saying. I feel like people have just been acting kind of in this panicked mode, but it's not as bad as like different things. It depends on like your immune system too. Like, the people who have had like death rates for this virus, to be honest, are people who are older. So, and also, we never ask questions like in terms of if someone who is younger who's getting the virus, like a young adult, if it's affecting them so much, do they have like health issues beforehand that like we don't know about? Because if people have certain health issues, maybe that's why it's making it harder for them to fight off the virus. But the virus sounds pretty much like the flu, but just a little bit more, like, just a little more intense, but not as bad. Like, it shouldn't be like it won't kill you, unless your immune system is like completely down. That's why a lot of older people have had death rates compared to younger people. So it's just what it is. I feel like people need to research more. But yeah, so I'm done talking about this. But here is the overview of the drawing. Here's the bunny pillow. I based it off. Yeah, I know I talked a lot about the virus. It's just because I feel like I kind of want to make a video talking about like what's going on in the part of the world that I'm living in, because this is just what it is. Like, I don't vlog, but I feel like this is a good way to like talk about it in terms of like, oh, there's still like, I still want to have hope, you know? Like, it's not as scary as people make it to be yet. So as long as we stay safe and just practice, if you want to practice like being healthy, social distancing, please do it in a correct way. If you want to wear gloves or masks, please just do it in the right way too. Like, don't touch your face. If you're going outside, don't touch your face. Don't use like, don't touch things that are yours, like a phone, when you're wearing gloves, because like that defeats the purpose. So yeah, so here's the bunny, and then my next video I'll be coloring in the gray one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.